Good evening. It's Saturday evening chat time. I'm going to talk about a mixed bag of topics tonight. Hi, my name is Jan. Welcome to my channel, the Save Money and More with Jan channel. Most of the time, I talk about saving money or some lifestyle tips that really help out in that manner. And sometimes I like to mix it up with a mixed bag of topics. This is kind of sort of related to saving money, part of this mixed bag. And thank you so much for being here. And I really do appreciate everybody's time. If you're brand new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And don't forget to smash down right this instant the like button. It really helps out the channel, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. So I came across, I was watching really, in my opinion, one of the best news channels ever. And that's the way I feel about it. And there was an interesting segment on it just this very exact morning where they were showing a person on another social media platform, and that person was in awe and in surprise as to how much that person's groceries went up from just a couple years ago. Oh my word. If you saw that person's actual video, you'd be like, what? So it makes me wonder, gives me pause to think, just for the heck of it. I bet this would be an interesting little project for anyone. Let's say, for example, that a person orders online a lot of their groceries. What they could do is just pull up some old order, okay, and look at the price that they paid for that order, okay, let's say 2 years back. All right. Then what you do is you re enter it. You don't have to buy it, you re enter it in your cart to see what the exact same articles that you purchased 2 years ago, what would be, at least to find out the subtotal, how it is comparatively speaking to right now. Now, I only heard about this like a short time ago, and in fact, it inspired me to create this video for tonight. So I said, when I have a chance, I'm going to do this. But this is something anybody that orders online, groceries, for example, could do. I believe that person ordered from the one that they were discussing, that they showed on that news outlet. The person, I think that they were comparing their prices from Walmart from 2 years ago to the moment of now. But don't quote me on that because I could be wrong. So I'm just saying, but it's the method that's really interesting. This means that anybody who has made purchases, stored information from a couple years back, pull it up, get that number, and then just enter the same items as we speak into a box now. You don't pay for it. You just want to see what the subtotal would be comparatively speaking. If not for anything, it's an interesting project to do. There you go. So I thought I'd mention that at the top of this mixed bag chat. And again, I thank you very much for being here. And I really do appreciate everyone's time. Let me see. Okay, so what a week. What a week, right? Whirlwind week. Without getting into item specifics, I just sit here shaking my head, going, okay, the week of all weeks. I say no more on that one. Am I surprised? No, no, absolutely not. But, I could sit here and laugh about it, but there are so many things, man, that are just so unlaughable. And unfortunately, due to the nature of things these days, I personally, cannot go further. But I'm just saying this was a very, I don't know about you, but how many of you out there are sick of the drama? You know what I'm saying? Just like sick of the drama. Let's just have like nice, nice is good. This is one of the reasons I think so many of us, I could speak for myself only. At least I could speak for myself only. This is why I enjoy my classic TV shows, listening to my favorite music from back in simpler times. You know, back in the really, really old days. I'm just saying this on this mixed bag chat on this Saturday evening, which thank you again for being here. I just want to say this. Do you know? Let's talk about communication for a minute. All right. I could sit here, I get a show idea, and it's up to me how fast I want to execute the idea out for you guys to listen to. It could be moments later, it could be a day later, it could be a week later. But whenever I smash down the record button and whenever I make and choose the decision to when this comes up, that's up to me. But once I click that it should be uploaded, it's there in an instant. Let's look back at how people live even just over 100 years ago. I want to mention something about this, which made me think of all this stuff. Okay. We, as a society, we are bombarded with so much information in the course of minutes. Minute we wake up, turn on our phones. What do most of us do? I mean, come on, let's be honest here. In my case, I have to, okay, because I do have a YouTube channel. So I have to follow up on, hey, did somebody leave a comment? And I like to be polite and answer back, Also to see, other things as well, check on other things, emails, the drill, the things you do yourself every day. We do this in a matter of an instance. Am I right? Or am I right? We don't think twice. We just do it. We are bombarded with so much information. I don't know how we don't go into information overload in our heads. I really don't. As opposed to, okay, let's get this right. If somebody wrote a letter to someone 100 years ago, and by the way, not a typewritten letter either, a handwritten letter, okay, you took the time, you probably dunked your pen in an inkwell to write this letter, and then you went to the post office, whatever. Do you know how long that letter of communication might have taken to get to your friend, family, or loved ones afar? Or even not even that far away, even maybe a state or two away. Let's just say it would take at the very least a week and a half for the letter to arrive. By the time that letter gets to that person, probably so much other new news is coming up, and the letter you sent is old news. Although I could probably imagine, and I could be wrong, and this is sheerly imagination speaking, I would imagine that life was at a slower pace in general. I think that's why, in a weird way, people appreciated certain things a little bit more. You see where I'm going with this? All right. I don't know. Today is everything is, well, we're so used to it that for us to get unplugged from all of that information overload, too much communication, if you will, in my opinion, and I could be wrong. I don't know. I just feel that we are just so numb to it. We are just so bombarded. So anyway, so what does this lead me to? So this week I decided I have a thing for like older buildings in the city of New York. There's history, a lot of history behind the older buildings that were called tenement. And a tenement is another word for apartment building or a multiple apartment dwelling. Okay. And I've always had this fascination for what they call the Gilded Age. I love the clothing. I love the looking at some of the treasured pictures, and sometimes you can even find little bits of movies and stuff. The Gilded Age, that I believe the Gilded Age, and don't quote me on it, probably began in around 1865 or 1875 and kind of sort of ended like in the early 1900s. What a time! What a time in this country, and what a time in this city here. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So many changes. Do we realize what our grandparents and great grandparents on a normal basis had to put up with on a daily basis? And here we are, many times, we complain. I'm serious. Let's think about this. Let's put ourselves in their place, okay? The days were longer. The winters were absolutely colder because you're not going to get as warm as you might get today. The summers were absolutely, think about it, like, We cry, whine, moan, and complain and groan. For example, we don't have our air conditioners, lower than, let's say, 78, or, you see where I'm going with that. Poor of us. Oh, my word. Let's think about this. We have become effectively wimps. I'm serious. Let's think about this for a minute. Am I right or am I right? I know I'm right. Okay. So back in the old days, again, as much as I love watching the history of it and the fascination of it, would I really love roasting in the heat on those hot, humid days without any alternative to cooling down? Not really. And the sanitation back then in the Gilded Age, as much as I love the clothing, beautiful to look at. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And people wore them. That's just the way it was. But can you imagine wearing those heavy clothing and those high button type shoes? I mean, think about this on a hot summer's day. What? No, 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 no. So while we tend to glamorize a lot of this stuff, and it is fascinating. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Somehow it's kind of sort of nice. Well, we could turn on the AC, right? On a cold day, flip the switch, turn on the thermostat, warm up your home or apartment. And even people who don't have the most ideal of situations today, there are places where people can find some sort of comfort and seek shelter and seek warmth. You see where I'm going with this? In many, many ways today, we are spoiled. But there is one area today that we are not spoiled. And I'm going to stick to this. I think that many of us we just receive too much information overload. That's why it's important, in my honest. And even though, like, I have to stay abreast of current times, I have to. It's part of my research for the stuff I get to talk to you about. I'm not going to make up stuff out of the thin air. I want to get some facts straight. The facts that I could try to check out through these uh, outlets and through, online and so on. But also, of course, from my own life experience, which comprises about 89% of everything I talk about, because experience is the best teacher. But this particular week, ay, 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 ay. Like, I'm so glad this upcoming week is a holiday week. Oh, I have to tell you something. So here's next on the mixed bag block here. This video may go slightly longer than what you used to. Click it off, come back to it. You can always pause it. By the way, I just want to mention something really fast. For those that say, oh, such and such video is too long, but you like the content, just pause it. Put it on pause. And then when you feel better and have more time or whatever, put it back. That's all. I mean, that's the beauty part. You get to pause it if you want to. So anyway, this is kind of humorous. So Steve and I recorded a show. He came over to my channel and recorded a show. It's going to air midnight on Monday. Okay. And it's basically a short, literally, it's like I think it's 7 minutes and 6 seconds. But who's counting? And Steve and I were trying our best to get, because, the platform that we use, StreamYard, which, believe you me, I love it. I've been using it for years. But every once in a while, it could be kind of challenging. I don't know. I think that there was such an overload of people using that at the moment when we were trying to record. It was only like, as you know, we record, in advance, obviously. We recorded that broadcast on Friday afternoon, something like 2:30, 3 o'clock. And we, no matter what we did, we couldn't bring each other into the broadcast studio. If we can't bring our links to the broadcast studio, guess what? There's no broadcast. So by the umpteenth attempt, Because this happened about 2 weeks ago when I was trying to do a video on his channel, on Steve's channel. He had difficulties on his end. So I don't know what is going on. So by like the 20th time of us attempting to get the video done, so you're probably going to see a less than stellar and a less than happy individual named Jan on the midnight show. I I think the first thing not think, I know for a fact. The first thing that I do is rant and complain and look in the camera about this particular issue with them. I don't know. Maybe more people are using it, but lately, at the moment, I don't know, because I love that. I love that platform. I've been working with it since like forever ago. So hopefully this time around they'll iron out their kinks. Did you ever love your job? But there's maybe one or two little things about your job, like for those that are employed outside, right? Or even the ones who are in business for yourself, giving a listen to this. Do you ever love your job, let's say 99%? And there's always that 1%. Everything would be perfect except for. So, in this case, when you work with technology and you rely on technology, see, here's the thing. How do you feel about this in this as part of this mixed bag topic? Yeah, I know I'm going on and on here. Might even hit 20 minutes perhaps. How do you feel on this mixed bag show about when you pay for a service, right? We pay for service from our own hard earned money. And by the way, I really revere that all of us work for our hard earned money by either doing one of two things. One, physically going outside and trading our time and getting paid for it. Or two, we create a product or we sell a product, we sell a service or product of some sort. Or three, I should say three, we cut back. Okay, we're doing a lot of effort. So when we trade off our hard earned money, of which all of us give, don't is it wrong for us to feel like we would like really appreciate to rely on a service? Is it wrong for us to feel that way? Let us know. Let me know in the comment section below. I mean, like if you're relying on that type of platform, I could tell you this though, and this is part of our being spoiled. And this is a true story. I used to know someone that had a cable news type show of his own. He had the show about in the 90s, okay? And back in those days, okay, this is pre anyone can make a podcast if they really put the mind to it type thing. They had to rent studio space, which, by the way, is not cheap. Okay, bring in their stuff, abide by the rules, X number of time, whatever. I don't know if they charge by the hour. I really don't know. But it was a very expensive venture to do. Should the show be good? Should the show not be good? I used to look forward to watching this particular show it was on a Saturday afternoon. How to, go to TV, go to the cable channel, look it up and pray the show was on. Okay. And yeah, so I used to love to watch that person's show. That person, by the way, is an actor. And you definitely saw him in some of those old movies, I'm trying to get it right. I want to make sure I'm getting it right. It could have been Casino, well, all those types of movies. Anyway, make a long story short, it cost the gentleman a lot of money. A lot of money. Now, if you're if you have talent in communications, or you just like to talk to your friends, or you just have something to share, or you just want to make memories for your family and mark it private. I can make all the videos I want and mark them private and just make them for my family. Something ever happens to me, oops, they got a collection. You see where I'm going with this? All right. So today, anybody literally that wants could have their own broadcast studio in their own hands. This is why I just want to say this, and then I'm going to conclude. And those of you who stuck it out this long, something, where is my, anyway, I just want to look, whoops, I was just trying to find something here, but it doesn't show up. Oh, well, whatever. I was trying to find a video clip. But anyway, thanks for being here. I just wanted to say this. Anyone that's interested, they could go, of course, sign up to this platform, YouTube, and then you could, do your videos through the YouTube, or, follow the apps, instructions, whatever. And then maybe perhaps you also might include that you may want to join or dabble with StreamYard, start your own podcast. If you have a message to give us, please give it, because every single one of us is a jewel. Okay. Everyone has something to bring to the table. Okay, my view of things is going to be completely different from somebody else's view of things. That's life. That's just how life works. All right, thank you so much for being here on this Saturday evening chat with this mixed bag of topics. I know I rambled a little long, but that's what I do. That's what I'm used to doing. I'm more of a behind the scenes kind of gal as opposed to being on camera. I know I do camera shows too for those that prefer to look at people on camera. But honestly, for me, I like behind the scenes a lot better. All right, everybody, have an amazing, fantastic day. Please click like, please share, and please subscribe.